Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, and we're here with a bird dragon. This is Windrazor, and he's a pretty cutthroat guy, and he's also a proud member of the Gun Stogie Dragon Robot Club. Check them all out, they're smoking guns. So, this guy, as I said, he is very cutthroat, and he kind of looks like the old TerrorCon Cutthroat, only they don't have that name anymore. So, his name is Windrazor now, because he raises the wind. He comes with a tornado bow, which originally apparently was going to be called the Abomination Bow, which is a way better name, and you can stick that in his mouth. You can also plug it on the side of his leg. Well, there are straight-up robot mode hands chilling out up here in the wings, so I guess you could stick it in there too. And I want to say, that's my biggest bummer about this bird mode. This thing is cool. Like, it's big, man. Like, compared to a little Cyberverse car, like, this dude looks, especially with his wings all the way out, that's a big-ass wingspan. Even next to one of the larger Cyberverse alt modes, this dude, he's got a wider wingspan than the width of this dude's, or I guess the length of this dude's body. And you can fold them up a bit to have this guy kind of look more like he's chilling out, just kind of standing around and minding his own business as a bird. He has a really good feel, and he has a real bang-for-your-buck feel. And I also want to say, amidst all of these Predacons, his colors just really feel nice and premium. I don't know, I think it's that green, the kind of semi-shiny green palm plastic that he uses. There's something really delightful about that, and this creamy bone color too. The purple is kind of, I don't know if it shows in the camera, it's actually a little bit thinly applied. You can kind of see the creamy bone through it, but whatever. All that's really cool. I just wish these robot mode hands were folded away, and it really makes it hard to not see them. That aside, posability-wise, like, this guy's really good for beast mode. He's got, like, an arrangement of ball joints here that are all actually a little bit limited, but they allow for pretty much a double-jointed wing flapping kind of action. This swivels in and out to retract or deploy wing spanage. He's got ball-jointed hips. He's got a little joint on the neck, so you can actually have him look more like he's really flying. And just being able to have the two different poses, you can wag his tail too. Being able to have the two different, very distinct poses of I'm flying versus I'm not flying. I just knocked his tail off. Don't mind that. Having those two distinct poses on a bird-like thing in Cyberverse feels like a pretty good value proposition to me. But this guy does have a robot mode, and he can totally transform into it, and I kind of think it's cool how his beast legs do this weird fold so his feet become his knees, and then all that stuff behind his legs become like high-heeled boots. I kind of dig it. His arms are, I mean, you can see the robot mode hands here. They aren't as simple as they look. I mean, they fold down like this, but then there's a hinge to fold them out to give him some sick shoulder pads, and unfortunately kind of permanently bent elbows. And then this dealie here folds down, and the head folds down over top. I really like how a lot of this guy's robot mode comes together. Sorry, you gotta put this tail out of the way, too. And there's a little slot for it here to, well, slot. There's a space for it to fit inside, which is pretty cool. I really like how this guy does not just stand up as a bird. He, much like some of the deluxe Predacons in this line, Beast Hunters, he does a little bit more than just stand up to transform, and those little embellishments really make it worthwhile to me. And I think that the robot mode aesthetic is pretty cool. For something that could have just looked like a standing bird, he looks a bit more like a, well, robot that has a lot of bird in him, I guess. The one big problem, though, with him is that, as I said, his elbows are permanently bent, and it's kind of a bummer because there's a ball joint there, and I think with a slightly different arrangement of cuts, this could have been the next cliff jumper in the Cyberverse line, and instead he sadly isn't. He's still pretty posable. I mean, ball-jointed shoulders. He's got this kinda joint at the elbows, which more or less just means he has a bicep swivel more than anything else, and ball-jointed hips, and he's pretty cool for a Cyberverse dude. He can hold his tornado bow in whatever configuration you'd like, so he can totally abominate with it, and I want to say he also feels like just vaguely tall for a Cyberverse robot mode, and the head sculpt on this guy, much like a lot of the other Predacons, it's not like gonna blow your mind, but for what it is, I think it's pretty strong. Like, you can really see some features in there. He's got a bit of an elongated chin, maybe even a little bit of a smirk going on. I like it. The yellow face on creamy bone plastic does have a bit of a mushy feel to it, but hey, whatever. I've said this before, if you're getting these Abominus guys, you're probably going to be getting all 5 no matter what you do, but I am happy to say this guy feels pretty good for a standalone Cyberverse toy, and I think he would have been pretty much a you must get this if his elbows worked better, but even not working perfectly, I still get a good feel for Mr. Windrazor the Cutthroat here. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and we've been casual cyberversing it again. That's 4 out of 5 combinating dragons, and the last one, I don't know how I feel about the last one's name yet, but we'll get there when we get there. I was trying to think of an excuse to just say blot to end this review, and I couldn't think of a proper one, so I'll just say blot!